children a story I will tell about pretty boy Floyd the outlaw. Oklahoma knew him well. 'Twas in the town of Shawnee on a Saturday afternoon, with his wife beside him in a wagon. It was into town he rode. The deputy sheriff called him in a manner rather rude, using vulgar words and language, and his wife, she overheard. Pretty boy grabbed a long chain, the deputy grabbed a gun. In the fight that followed, he laid that deputy down. He took to the woods and timbers, he lived a life of shame. Every crime in Oklahoma, they laid onto his name. He took to the river bottom along the North Canadian shore, and many a starving farmer opened up his door. From many a little farmer, the same old story goes, how pretty boy paid their mortgage, and he saved their little home. They tell about a stranger who came to beg a meal, and underneath his napkin left $1,000 bill. In Oklahoma City, it was on a Christmas day, from a whole wagon load full of groceries, and a note on which did say, you say that I'm an outlaw, you say that I'm a thief. Well, here's a Christmas dinner for your family's own relief. Now around this world I've rambled, I've seen many funny men. Some will rob you with a 6-gun, and some with a fountain pen. But as through your lives you ramble, boys, as through your lives you roam, you'll never see an outlaw drive a family from their home. Folks, it's been a financial pleasure. Thank you. My favorite Irish toast, and may the best of the past be the worst of the future. Ooh la la, hoo la la, hoo la.
Cheers.
And of course, my favorite Texas toast, here's to honor. Get honor and stay honor. We're trying something tonight, which is drinking an unknown brand of bourbon instead of Mexican mouthwash. Usually I drink tequila, which I call the Barry Manilow drink, because it makes you feel good for a short period of time. And I would like to recommend, though, so far this is doing well. But the Mexican mouthwash, you can drink it cowboy style, and I like to suggest that to people that don't live in Texas. Drink it the way we do. And the way we do it, cowboy style, we lay out a line of salt, and you snort the line of salt. And then you take the lime, and you squeeze it in your own eye. Then you kill the shot. Anyway, this next song sort of wrote itself one night. I wasn't even at home at the time. This was in Nashville, and it's about one of the old sponsors of the Grand Ole Opry called the Nashville Life and Casualty Insurance Company. 65 years they sponsored the Opry. They just stopped last year. There's a new sponsor, which is Walmart. So anyway, when I wrote this song, I twisted the title from Nashville Life and Casualty to Nashville Casualty and Life. And I was so high that night that I needed a stepladder to scratch my ass. But this is the resulting song. In faded gabardine he used to stand down by the Union Station with that old hat in his hand. The banjo-picking devil, a singing ragtime saint. The young folks called it beautiful and the old folks called it quaint. And the station master pointed to the sign, and they busted him for loitering when he was making memories rhyme. Out in the falling snow he'd sing his song to a world too cold to listen and too white to sing along. Just a Nashville casualty of life, done left in without a dime. Ever since the good Lord took his wife, you'd find him strumming on the corner all the time. And most of Music City never saw the world within the song of a Nashville casualty in life. Goes on. The attic sets a dusty hat and cane, and the kids that found a banjo there all rusted from the rain. I strummed a little rusty ragtime beat, and I sang for every soul out on the street. I could almost see him standing in the rain, his black and blinded face reflecting all the pain of all the time and people passing by, and all the ringing memories that can make a banjo cry. Just a Nashville casualty of life. It's a riff that's hell to play. He sings for your living on the street, and Lord, you sleeps in the back of some cafe. And most of Music City never sees the world within the song of a Nashville casualty in life. Goes on. Just before I got into politics, that was 2006, and I was the first candidate in America that endorsed gay marriage. And I said, they have every right to be just as miserable as the rest of us. But Willie gave me some advice that has served me very well in life and in politics, so I'd like to share it with you. He said, if you're going to have sex with an animal, always make it a horse. Because that way, if things don't work out, at least you know you've got a ride home. Left Barber College, searching for knowledge, went to the university. I must confess, sir, this life lady professor, she turned me on to anthropology. Now I'm a Homo Erectus, got to connect this bone that I discovered yesterday. Tyrannosaurus lived in the forest, died because his heart got in the way. Dear Dr. Howard, come down from your tower and join me for lunch at the Y. Although you're 30, I still think you're purty. Let's give it that good old college try. Homo Erectus, got to connect this bone that I discovered yesterday. Woo, choo-choo. Tyrannosaurus lived in the forest, died because his heart got in the way. Hey, Jomo Kenyatta, no, you're not a Australopithecine boogeyman. Took us a jillion, but we all still here been boogieing since boogieing began. I'm Dr. Homo Erectus, got to connect this bone that I discovered yesterday. Tyrannosaurus lived in the forest, died because his heart got in the Yeah. I remember one thing, I was in Berlin 2 nights ago, and I was remembering that Berlin is the place that really gave birth to the Beatles. I mean, that was where that's where they became somebody. You know, where they, right? No, Hamburg?
Hamburg.
Where?
Hamburg. It was Hamburg.
Remember, I'm totally fucking deaf. It's ridiculous to try to talk to somebody. Hamburg?
Yes.
They were never in Berlin?
As far as I know. No.
Kennedy.
Well, we ought to know that. Kennedy was Berlin. So some of you know that Ringo participated in a song of mine called Men's Room L.A., where he played the voice of Jesus. And so I saw Ringo again about a month ago in Austin, Texas, which I like to refer to Austin as Dallas with guitars. But it's changed a lot, yeah. But it's still, anybody that comes to Austin loves it. But Ringo was doing a show there. And so we started talking about it, and I asked him who his favorite Beatle was. And he said John, always John. And then I reminded him that Levon, who was probably one of the greatest drummers who ever lived, and Ringo, of course, is like a piece of, well, he's a walking history. He's like the soul, the living soul of the Beatles. And he's 74 years old, so I look up to him for wisdom and advice. And he's still on the road. So Ringo said, Levon said that being a drummer for the band was the best seat in the house. You could see everything. You could see the people reacting in the band and all that. And Ringo did not agree with that. Ringo felt that he only had one regret in life, and that was he never got to see the Beatles.